Welcome to Prunership Diaries. Today we have with us Zaman Mecci, who is an entrepreneur, investor, and a startup advisor. Welcome to my show, Zaman. I'm very excited to talk to you about your journey through various ventures and in various fields. Welcome to my show, and I'm so honored to have you here today.
Hi, Shweta. Thank you for having me.
Great. So let's get started. So Zaman, you have been a successful systems consultant, I think, well over close to 10 years now. So I want to know what initially triggered you to start a venture of your own.
Sure. Generally, all startups have some pursuit, right? I
Yes.
categorize these pursuit into four categories.
Mm-hmm.
One is pursuit of happiness, right? The first one is pursuit of happiness. Grass is greener on the other side. It's in most cases. So a person working in any domain, it can be a consultant or he can be working in some other domain.
Right.
He wants to be his own boss, right?
Mm,
And that is one of the pursuits.
right.
And then the second pursuit could be possibly pursuit of prestige, right? For example, I've been working in a consulting role from past, I think, 15 years now.
All right.
And
Okay.
once you gain certain experience, you want to associate yourself with something bigger and something on your own.
Mm,
And you're actually associating yourself to a prestige, right? That could be the reason
mm-hmm.
generally.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a stronger pursuit, which is the pursuit of money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it is the most common
Mm,
common pursuit you see. And then there is a higher, bigger pursuit, which is the pursuit of impact, right?
right. Yes.
You just want to create something which will change many people's lives.
Absolutely.
That's one of the pursuits. And of course, nothing is each pursuit is it has its own importance and place.
Mm,
In my case, mostly I would say, to be honest, it was pursuit of prestige.
mm,
I've been working in a consulting role for 10 years, and I thought, I'll create really something very sophisticated and complex,
all right.
um, without even, understanding the market, right?
Mm,
Usually, that was my initial, pursuit. Then, as I, started my ventures into entrepreneurship, then the later on the pursuit was really pursuit of impact.
wow.
And interestingly, whenever I truly started a venture because I wanted to have an impact,
Mm-hmm.
those startups gave me really a self satisfaction,
Yes.
also success. um,
Mm,
so I think it was 2016 and 17, which was my first real pursuit of impact
wow.
venture. This was yeah. And before this, there were other, I was starting building up products and flipping them on Flipper.
Right.
It's a marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of $1,000 here and there, just as a trail,
Mm,
um, effort. Nothing really concrete and big, unless it was in 2016 and 2017 when I started World Business Studios.
mm. All right. That's wonderful, Zaman. I mean, to talk about, the pursuits, the various pursuits that you mentioned, and initially you started off with the pursuit of prestige, and then it moved to the pursuit of, making an impact. I think that's the beauty of it, right? Being an entrepreneur, I think, we all have that, the drive, the passion to, create something of value to the end user. And that's what it is, I think, to always be on the go, take risks, and of course put something, at the end of the day, something very very beneficial, to the end user at the end of the day. So lovely. And as you were just mentioning, World Business Studios, so let's hear from you as to what was it all about, and also if you could let us know what were the learnings from this venture of yours, considering it was your first venture.
Yeah, back then it actually started when my mom called me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in I think I was in Florida working for my client,
All right.
and she said, my mom is living in the United States from I think 15 years now.
Mm,
Um, yeah, she was here early like 2005,
right.
and she called me around 2000 16, and she said, hey, if I had she was living in a rented apartment
Right.
during those days,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me if I had the down payment to loan my own mortgage my own home,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that would have been really really good.
Yeah.
All right. She wanted to live in an individual house,
Right.
not in an apartment.
Right.
And then her income was just enough for her to sustain the basic
Right.
bill payments, and the mortgage companies wouldn't give her the loan because her income was not very high.
Right.
And there was only two choices. One is, I buy you a home,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then I come up with something else so
Yeah.
that she can sustain by herself.
Correct.
So I gave her the choice, and she said, I know you do it, but still, I don't want to burden you.
Right.
The second choice is I like the second choice. She said me, the second choice which I gave was, I give you the down payment,
Mm-hmm.
right? um, you take the home.
Mm.
I keep 50% of the ownership.
Right.
You keep 50% of the ownership.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find a home wherein we can do a short-term rentals,
Mm.
and with that rental income we pay off your mortgage,
Ah,
and the other 50% goes to my company.
right.
That's how this thing started.
Mm-hmm.
It started with a pursuit of impact, right?
Mm.
So, long story short, I found a home downside of Atlanta,
Okay.
and that was when movie studios. It's called Pinewood Studios,
Mm.
which came and set up newly,
Right.
and Atlanta was becoming a second movie hub, just like Los Angeles,
Right.
right? And then there was a booming real estate market there, and
Mm.
the short-term rentals just flooded, right? We had, at one point, we had overlap of inquiries coming in for living space.
Mm.
um, and then we bought a second property
Right.
around the same area, and this
Mm.
time it was office space.
Mm-hmm.
um, that's how World Business Studios was born. It was
Okay.
primarily meant for single business owners, small startups.
Right.
um, it had 100% occupancy, and the
Mm.
living space which we had created close by had 100% occupancy.
Right.
That was a model
Mm.
which we created, and then we expanded to other regions. We still have one property in Minnesota, and then we have one property, it's an office property in Bangalore.
Oh wow.
um, yeah, and we have their small businesses, small startups,
Mm.
basically operating from that area. That was the first successful initiative, and that business was sold a couple
Right.
of years ago
Ah.
with a very good profit, and we're just keeping a couple of properties, legacy properties, one in Bangalore,
Right.
one in Atlanta, that is my mom's house, and remaining properties have been sold off.
Ah. All right.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I mean, yeah, I think you can find ideas right around you, and I think to go ahead and come up with a solution, I think that's what it is all about. Um, So I mean, once as you said, that was the first venture of yours, and you sold it, and it was profitable. I want to know what kept you going, because I know you went on to start another venture called Parabolus. If you could also let us know about it. So, what was the urge to move on? I mean, because you have had a very successful venture and you've had your learnings from it, and what triggered you to move ahead and I want to create something else. So, what was the inner drive?
Basically, it was coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
I still earn three figure salary,
Right.
and what drives me is actually the pursuit of impact.
Yeah.
Um, so there is another venture, and nobody knows of. It's not printed anywhere,
Mm.
but it's called Machines Bank. And
Okay.
right when I was doing World Business Studios, my
Uh-huh.
one of my friend who lives in Middle East, he was talking about he needed some help with the import of high end equipment for
Right.
power generation sector.
Mm.
So he was been doing this from past many years. I was just trying, turned a blind eye to him initially, and then
Mm.
eventually, we started Machines Bank in United States because
Right.
the team back in Middle East, they wanted a local company here um,
Mm.
to help them with the local operations of equipment
Right.
export,
Right.
compliance, legalities surrounding those equipment. They had a partner local vendor which was adding up to their cost,
Mm.
um, and the local vendor had the high markup.
Right.
They wanted to bypass that vendor, and they started this venture here
Mm.
in the United States. So somewhere down the line, somebody has approached me, either approached me for help,
Right.
or I have taken the initiative, right? And Parabolus was started because I wanted to have an umbrella company which will cater to all this different initiative I have. And initially, I thought I'll have the equity model wherein all the equities will get into Parabolus, but eventually we kept it. I kept it different. Each
Mm.
entity is different. I don't take the co-founder's role because
Okay.
I won't be able to do the justice to the role, right? So
Right.
what I do is I take the role of advisory board,
Right.
so that I don't have to involve into day-to-day operations,
Correct. Right.
which is not possible if you're doing multiple things. It's
Yes.
highly impossible to um, you know uh, work on each of these ventures.
Right.
So yeah, Parabolus was spun off as a different uh, company,
Mm-hmm.
and under Parabolus we have a product called it's a blockchain based product. It's called Crypto Cafe.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
so we just have one product under Parabolus right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yes, lovely. Before we, talk about Crypto Cafe, I want to know, do you think it is important for people to create multiple sources of income? What is your thoughts on that?
It actually depends. For few, money might be the ultimate driver.
Mm.
For many, it might not be.
Mm-hmm.
Money might not be the goal. It might be something else.
Mm.
So your why could be different than my why, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so I think before anybody wants to start any kind of venture, it could be a side hustle or full time venture. You need to
Right.
ask yourself why you want to do it,
Yeah.
right? And your why sometimes can be stronger than my why, and the stronger the pursuit you have, the greater is the chances of success.
Right. All right. Okay. Well said. So, Zaman, could you tell us about Crypto Cafe as you were mentioning a minute ago?
Krypto Cafe was started to solve one particular niche, which is the remittance.
Okay.
international remittance. We wanted to streamline
Mm-hmm.
the international payment transactions using blockchain technology, and we want to eliminate the different, middlemen and the
Right.
processes which go through the international transaction
Right.
and the banking traditional banking system.
Mm-hmm.
That was the ultimate goal. We just launched the version one few months ago, about 6 months ago,
Right.
both on Android and iOS.
Mm.
And international remittances is highly regulated, sector.
Right.
So we have partnered with a technology provider,
Mm-hmm.
and we act as a front end, sales, app,
Right.
iOS and Android.
Mm.
We have integrated many currencies, cryptocurrencies into it. I think we have, as of today, 21.
Oh.
It's not completely a payment app for now,
Mm-hmm.
but our next version will be focused on streamlining the international payments
Mm.
using blockchain.
Lovely. Okay. Ziman, a question here, like, with respect to, I mean, you have your ventures like in different places. You're working with different people. I gather like across the world. What I mean, could you tell us, just of course, getting people, to align with your vision of the venture, and also with respect to the technology required, and you're working with, I gather, companies in different countries, as you were mentioning with respect to machine spank, it was related to the legalities and all of those. So how do you balance, or how do you put together all of this? I mean, as a venture, when you're talking about resources, it could be the human resources, and of course with respect to the legalities, because the legalities and the protocols are different in each of the countries, right? So is it a challenge, or is it like getting the right kind of people for the job? Like, how is it? I mean, I just want to know your experience of putting a venture together.
Yeah, it's a chicken and egg, story. Right?
Right.
Yeah, most important, before even thinking about getting into venture,
Right.
the first thing is can I contribute to the project, right?
Mm.
And what is my contribution?
Right.
That's the biggest question I ask myself.
Yeah.
Is there a team to handle this?
Yes. Yes.
It could be Machines Bank, it could be Crypto Cafe, right? I
Right.
won't enter into a project if I'm alone. I don't do solo apprenticeship.
Yeah.
I did that before
Right.
with a couple of them, but
Hmm.
now I'm in a stage where you know I'm I just want to go big way, right?
Right.
Just like any other startups, pre-series funding, Series A funding, and so on.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't take the co-founders role, because that's impossible.
Right.
You need to have a really strong team to get these funding
Right.
rounds. Um, and I take a role. There is a lot of research involved, and then there is a proof of concept involved.
Right.
And the most important thing to me is not the finance, it's not the venture capital funding, it's not even the product, it's
Yeah.
not the technology, it is
Yeah.
the team, right?
Right.
The team is the most important.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the right team, and if the team goals are inclined to one common goal,
Right.
that's a strong indication that this, I can be a part of this venture. Not all teams were easy. Many projects have failed. They have failed in discussion stage.
Right.
There is one team I've been interacting with them from past 1 year.
Mm.
It's just interaction, and nothing has conceptualized, or nothing has started yet. We just want to make sure before we enter, and it's a costly affair. I mean, if you just jump into it, you need that initial seed funding, and you need a lot of effort and time you're contributing. And if you're not sure about the team, and if
Right.
the team is not inclined to the goal, then there's no point getting into the ventures.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I have a couple of them. I have a few in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
I just see what my role is, how I can contribute as an advisor,
Right.
how much seed fund is required. Um, Only then, I get into ventures. There's only one startup which is exceptional. I've been a co-founder for
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Is Magic Hands. It's a Bangalore-based startup. We just started this about 6 months ago,
Oh, all
and
right.
we recorded a revenue of about 25 lakhs in
Mm.
just 6 months.
Wow.
And this is the only startup which is ready for pre-series A funding right
Mm.
now. And if
Right.
that happens, this will be the first venture capital
Mm.
um, company. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So totally resonate with you when you say that it's more than the finance or the funding or any other aspect. It's more about the team, and it's all right. I mean, like, getting people who are aligned to the vision, and of course who have complementary skill set, so that they can work together with whatever the venture is doing. So I think yeah, that's what it is. And it's so wonderful when you said that it's not about the other things, but mainly it's about the team, because when you have the right team, I think you can sail through and you can be successful in any venture that you are wanting to put across to the end user. So amazing. And yes, you also did mention about magic hands, which I was about to ask. um Moving on, so I want to know, how has been your experience in like your consulting job, and of course with respect to your various ventures, either being a co-founder with magic hands or being a startup advisor. So how's it been juggling both the worlds, and also how do you keep yourself productive?
So one recommendation, or anything,
Mm-hmm.
uh, if I have to give, is I keep my job and my ventures
Right.
into the same stream, right? I don't navigate away from what I've been doing in
Right.
my consulting role as well.
Mm-hmm.
um, I take up this technology advisory role in each of these ventures,
Right.
because of the experience which I have
Correct.
of all these years, and then experience of managing the team, a right team, right? I've been doing this from past many years,
Yes.
managing a team, um, at my workplace,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
The pros and cons, how the team is going to react, how much time is going to take them to do a task assigned,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. It's kind of complementary.
Right.
um, it's better to do what you specialize in,
Yes.
especially if you're doing this as a side hustle. um, but if you try to diversify away from your main um, expertise,
Right.
then then you'll reach a point where you can get overwhelmed. um,
Mm.
and then that's going to affect your personal life,
Right.
affect your work life, and
Yeah.
the ventures as well.
Right. Right. All right. So Zaman, what are your future plans? Are there any other ventures which you're planning to put forth, or what is it? What is it going to be?
There are a few talks in the pipeline. Nothing is concrete as of yet.
Mm.
The only goal which I have is to get that Series A and B funding for Magic Hands.
Right.
I've been, I'm not taking too many things right now.
Mm.
Once I have this, achieved, and then we'll see what comes up and what is interesting.
Wow, amazing. And all the best for your venture, Magic Hands. I hope you get the funding soon. All right. Zaman, I want to know, how has the pandemic affected your work, business? your ventures, both in a positive and negative way. So, what do you think?
Um, in a positive sense, pandemic gave us a lot of time to ponder upon,
Mm,
um, and rectify our mistakes, um, especially with magic hands. We had a couple of hiccups during our starting stage, and then we had the very strict lockdown in Bangalore.
right.
That gave us little time to uh, work towards a better product.
Mm,
We had a lot of time to release our apps. We restructured the company.
right.
um, we bought in one more co-founder
Mm,
during this time. That way, we had time to actually think and restructure things.
right.
And we are not very busy with our day-to-day operations during the lockdown.
Right.
And then the downside was a startup, if there is no operations for a certain period of
Yes.
time, then your books get affected, your financial is really impacted.
Right.
If you see, we have a graph we wanted to show to a VC,
Hmm.
right? The graph goes like up, and then
Yes.
because of the lockdown there is a big fall
Right.
for a certain period of time, and the growth trajectory has been affected. But we are back on track. We have 10% growth month on month,
Right.
and hopefully we get that traction moving forward. So
All right. That's wonderful. I think Zaman, I think we forgot to, stress upon what does Magic Hands do. I think I just realized, even though we know what it does, but yeah, to the listeners out there, I think we forgot to talk about what Magic Hands does. If you could let us know about it.
yeah, it's home-based repair, service aggregator.
Right.
It includes the vehicle repair and the home repair as well. It's just like, if you heard of Urban Collab, and
Yes.
it's a modified
Right.
yeah, business model than an Urban Collab.
Right.
Yeah, I cannot really reveal much on this,
Okay.
but it's a home service based app, and our next version is going to be released in 1 or 2 months now.
Lovely.
um,
Okay.
it's a modified version of existing home based services, repair services.
All right. Got that. Okay. All right, Zaman. So I want to know, I mean, especially during this time, well-being is of the utmost importance for all of us. And I want to know, what is your well-being routine like? And what do you indulge in apart from work?
There are a lot of things, a lot of travel involved,
Mm,
but specifically to be healthy, I really don't get much time, but I make sure I at least, during the weekends, at least
yeah.
I visit the gym.
Right.
Uh, I have a workout there, and then bi-weekly, I think we get together here
Mhm.
for the soccer tournament. And
Ah,
yeah, there there are many from India, and then the Middle Eastern countries, and then the locals here.
right.
We group together and we have this bi-weekly event. Sometimes it's a monthly indoor soccer event, just to you know keep my mind away from the usual work related tasks.
Yes.
And then yes, besides this, a lot of travel going on. I just visited Hawaii
Oh,
last
wow.
week. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I generally avoid long, travel days, but my wife likes to travel a lot. Um, and this summer was little more travel,
Yes.
um, and and yeah, I think now winter is coming up, and we hopefully I have more time.
Yeah, I mean, I think traveling is always good, to, just get out of the routine that you're always in, and, to probably get newer perspectives. And it's lovely that, you are taking care of your physical, mental, emotional. all the aspects. So that's wonderful to know. All right. So, Zaman, so we come to the last section, which I call as the pruner spotlight section. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. So it could be on the personal or the professional front. And you could answer to me in a word or two or a couple of sentences. So I leave that totally up to you. So do we get started?
Sure.
All right. Wonderful. Okay. My first question here is what is your ikigai? So, ikigai is nothing but the reason for your being. So, what is that one thing that you would do on any given day, no matter what is happening around the world? So, what is that one thing that keeps you going?
I think my pursuit of impact, I would say. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. All right. Any person who has inspired you, or any book, which has inspired you? You can talk of both or any.
Well, there are many.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair selecting one over the others.
Mm-hmm.
My teachers, my college professors, my neighbors, and
Yes.
my friends, my childhood friends, my colleagues, and my managers, right?
Right.
All of them. But when it comes to reading, I'd probably suggest three books. Those are my all-time favorites.
All right.
One is The Organizing Genius
Ah.
by Van Bennis,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember the name correctly.
All right.
The second one is The Five Dysfunctions of a Team.
Mm.
I think it's written by Patrick Lencioni.
All right.
And the third one is The Culture Code.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think it's written by, I don't remember the name, but I think these three books have a great impact on my ventures.
Amazing. I'll be sure to check out those books as well. Right. So my next
Absolutely.
question
Yeah.
is hypothetically, if you turn out to be the richest person in the world tomorrow, what would you like to do? Or would you continue to do what you're already doing?
uh, uh, if there's maybe more and more ventures, I don't know. um,
Yes.
but yes, it's a very a valid question. If you have a lot of money, then I'd probably do more and more. So
Wow.
yeah.
Lovely. Okay. All right. Do you prefer working from 9 to 5 or being an entrepreneur? Because you're doing both, so I want to know which one would you choose, or is it going to be both?
I would say both for now, and
Okay.
eventually, I would prefer 9 to 5 going forward.
Wow. All right. Lovely. Okay. What is your definition of success?
Well, if you think you have achieved your pursuit, um, right, that's your success. So
Ah, yes, fair enough. Lovely. And Zaman, what is one key takeaway that you want to give the audience? So the audience here being those who've just started on an entrepreneurial journey, and or those who are already doing it but who want to take it up to the next level. So would you want to share any insights, learnings, or any tips from your end?
there are many.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you take from the perspective of venture capital funding, um, then there are many recommendations there.
Right.
But one thing I would like to say is be honest with your pursuit. Um, the more honest you are with yourself,
Yes.
um, the easier it is to achieve your pursuit. Um, so your pursuit of should be your product. I'm sorry, the product you develop or the service you develop
Right.
should be a reflection of your pursuit.
Yeah.
So the more honest you are with your pursuit, the greater is the chances of success.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Zaman. How can anyone reach out to you?
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, or they can email me. My email is ZAMANMECCI, my middle name and my last name at gmail.com.
All right.
Or if, they can reach out to me using the social media.
Lovely. Okay. I'll be sure to leave these links in the episode description. And Zaman, thank you so much for a wonderful conversation. And it's so amazing to see a person who is juggling both a job as well as, being an advisor to various ventures and in different fields. And it is so inspiring and motivating to, talk to a person who's doing it all, and not to forget, I'm sure you're an hands-on father as well with three children. I would want to mention that because it's not just about work, it's also about the family and taking care. It's an entire thing, right? So it's so inspiring because you're doing it all, and it's doing it so wonderfully well. So thank you. It's been such an amazing, conversation that I've had with you. Thank you so much for being out here today.
It has been a pleasure talking to you, Shweta. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaman.